Hello and welcome to another episode. Today we're diving into NEC Article 110.23, which deals with current transformers, often referred to as CTs. If you're new to the electrical field, don't worry. This episode breaks it down into simple terms. Let's start with the basics. So, what is a current transformer, or CT? Imagine you are trying to measure the amount of water flowing through a giant pipe, but your meter is too small to handle that much pressure. What do? You install a special device that lets you measure a smaller portion of that water, and then you calculate the total based on that sample. A current transformer does the same thing, but for electric current. It lets us safely measure high amounts of electrical current by reducing it to lower, more manageable level for instruments and meters. This is especially helpful in commercial and industrial settings where currents can be very high. Why do we need a special rule for CTs? Well, here's where the NEC 110.23 comes in. This article exists for safety reasons. When a CT is working, it builds up energy based on the current it's measuring. If the secondary winding, that's the output side of the CT, is left open or disconnected while the primary side is energized, it can create a very dangerous high voltage condition. We are talking about hundreds or even thousands of volts appearing at the terminals. This can damage your meters and equipment, create a serious shock hazard, and potentially cause arcing or even fires. So the NEC 110.23 says the secondary of the current transformer must not be open circuited while the primary is energized. This rule is not optional. It is there to protect you, your tools, your equipment, and your entire system. So how do we follow this rule in the real world? Here's the few common practices. You can short the terminals. When a CT is not connected to a meter or device, electricians will often short the secondary terminals together using a shorting block or a shorting screw. This safely redirects any current and prevents high voltages from building up. You can ground one side. It's common to ground one side of the CT secondary. That adds an extra layer of safety by stabilizing the voltage. You can use burden resistors. These are special resistors used to limit voltage in the secondary, especially in testing situations. And the use of labeling and enclosures. Clear labels and CT compartments help identify live circuits and protect maintenance workers who may not realize a CT secondary is energized. Here's a pro tip for students and new electricians. Always assume CTs are energized unless you're personally tested and shorted them. If you're ever unsure, don't disconnect a CT secondary wire without knowing the proper procedure. If in doubt, ask your supervisor or use a test block with built-in shorting mechanisms. Learn the CT's ratio, which tells you how many amps in the primary side equals 1 amp in the secondary. For example, a 200:5 CT means 200 amps will flow through the primary, 5 amps will come out of the secondary. This is a key for accurate measuring and protective relays. So why was this article added to the code? Electrical safety incidents involving CTs go back decades. Engineers and electricians were getting injured or equipment was being destroyed just because someone opened a CT circuit while it was live. So NEC 110.23 was introduced to create a universal, enforceable rule to prevent these accidents. It's one of those rules that may seem technical on paper, but in practice, it saves lives and prevents costly damage every single day. So the bottom line, NEC 110.23 tells us, always keep the CT secondary circuit closed or properly shorted when the primary is energized. It is a small rule with big impact, and as someone entering the electrical field, understanding this will make you safer, smarter technician or engineer.